was the 5th track off of Red World called Serial Killer. We are here in the station with Merso. We decided we were going to talk a little bit about your signing with Good Die Records. Want to tell us a little bit about that and the experience going through that and stuff?
Sure, yeah. I don't know, we were just kind of approached by Nick via email. Nick Christopherson, he's the guy who owns and runs Good Die Records up in Seattle. And it was kind of funny, he came out to one of our shows shortly after that, and I remember seeing him pop in. I'd recognized him from Facebook, and I think he was there for maybe a total of 45, 50 seconds, and he just kind of walked out the door, and we kind of all looked at each other, and after the show we were just like, oh man, we totally blew it! We just totally blew it.
We almost imploded that night.
Yeah, we were in very bad spirits after that, but it turned out that he just had somewhere to be, and he texted us a little bit later, said he was coming out to another show. He came out to there, and we got to talking, and we signed probably about a year after that, just kind of like back and forth. We were in pre-production for this record at the time, so he wanted to hear the whole thing before he committed to it, and but it ended up working out really well. It's a really awesome label to be on, both with the roster and all that.
Yeah, who are some other artists signed with?
Sandwriter, Absolute Monarchs, Constant Lovers.
Constant Lovers is fantastic for sure.
Nice.
There's a band called Gaytheist. Blood Drugs is another one. And a couple defunct bands.
I think they're probably their most notorious rock group was formerly called Dog Shredder.
Yes, that's
And
true.
now they're Wild Throne.
They make some big waves when they came out.
They also released a Kinski split.
Oh, yeah.
Kinski's a great band from Seattle too.
Classic story Seattle bands.
Yeah, Kinski's kind of one of those old, I think they were Kill Rock Stars originally, but they were on the same label as Elliott Smith, and Unwound, I guess, was on Kill Rock Stars too.
One of my favorite
If
bands.
anybody remembers that band,
Yeah.
anymore, it's so sad.
The best. So.
Well, that's exciting. It's
Yeah.
fun that you guys have such other large names. Have you guys been able to meet any of them or play with
Played
any
shows
of
with
them?
them.
Yeah, we've played shows with most of them at this point, the ones that are still together. But yeah, playing with Sandwriter for the first time was awesome, because before they were Sandwriter, a couple of those guys were in a band called Akimbo, which was this just awesome, hardcore metal group from Seattle, and
It appeals to the fanboy in me because I love Akimbo. I've seen them many times, and Harkonnen was one of my favorite bands, and Ben Verellen is in Constant Lovers now, and so label me with some of my musical heroes.
So as soon as you saw them, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I try not to do it, but I can't stop.
Well, that's really fun. And you just released Red World with them on the 21st. How exciting is that? Did you guys have a record release party? Or
It was a relief, honestly, in some ways, because we've been working on this record for so long, so it felt really good to finally have it put out there. And our record release show was a lot of fun. A lot of people came out, played with some great bands that night. So
Was that up in Seattle?
it was, yeah. It was at the Black Lodge venue up in Seattle.
Oh, that's fun. I feel like I've heard of a band or two playing in the Black Lodge, but...
Black Lodge is kind of like Seattle's The Smell, that it is notorious
Yeah.
LA venue. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's not really on the map, but if you're in the community, you know where it is.
It's the longest active DIY space. It's been there for 10 years now,
Wow.
which is crazy. I used to see shows there when I was in high school.
Oh my
And
gosh.
now I'm an old person. So yeah.
We don't really have any places like that in Chico. They've all either changed name or just changed location. But I know up in Portland they have quite a few venues like that are just they're playing there and everyone's like, oh yeah, of course, that place.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a life cycle with DIY, I feel like, because at some point, if you're not a hardliner, no booze, no drugs, all ages venue, it's really easy to get shut down, obviously, by the municipalities.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and I think, I don't know, for us, it seems like what's trending now are these, I would call them safe spaces for the most part. which is great because they're not, you know, they're not a huge threat to anyone, and they normally stay open for a lot longer periods of time. So
Yeah, definitely.
Any place that, you know, has shows, especially for all ages venues, I think is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really cool. We have one place here called the 1078 Gallery. We're actually having a show there tomorrow from one of our old interns. His name is Esquire Ali. He has a rap show going there tomorrow. But it's cool because it's an all ages place, but they also sell beer. So you just have to like get the wristband or whatever.
Cool.
What's your guys' best tour moment so far for the short tour that you've been on?
That's a good question.
I mean, other than being right here.
Yeah. That was the answer, right?
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Cool. One. What do we get?
To be honest, we've been spending a lot of time giving each other guff as we've been doing a lot of driving thus far.
We've had some memorable moments at multiple guitar centers on the way here for different equipment malfunctions we've experienced just in the short 4 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
That's been great. I mean, I'd love to get back to you on that one
Okay.
once things
Alright.
have wrapped up. But it's been really great thus far. To disclose a little fun fact, this is actually my last tour with these fine folks, and so it's been really great. It's been really, really lighthearted and fun, and the shows have all been great, and the performances have been super tight, which is always
That's awesome.
what
Yeah.
you're looking for. So yeah, it's been a real privilege and pleasure thus far.
May I ask what you're doing after this, or?
No.
Are you- Okay. That's fine. Never mind.
No, I do lighting for theater and dance, and
Okay.
pursuing graduate school.
Nice.
I can't hold these rockers back with my high art, so there you go.
Gotta set him free.
We got that lower, so.
My roommate is actually a set designer for the music and theater department here.
That's tight.
So, yeah, so that's cool. She talks about having to paint things, and she's like, and I looked at it and it looked like crap. I'm like, oh, sorry. I don't know what it feels like.
It sounds exhausting.
It's very exhausting.
That's so insane.
My
Stop. I'm just kidding.
our PM director here at KCSC as well is does lighting for shows and stuff. I believe he's doing the lighting for the Schwantoberfest tomorrow evening that I was talking about earlier, which is really exciting. We'll take another quick song break. Would you guys like to play Reunion Show?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. This is the second track off of Red World on KCSC Radio. That was the track Reunion Show off of Merso's most recent album, Red World, that came out on the 21st. So that's really exciting. We were talking during the song. Would you guys like to explain the recording process for the album?
Sure. So I actually am an audio engineer. I work at a recording studio in Woodinville, Washington, just outside Seattle, called Bear Creek Studio. And with our prior album, went under the name Leather Daddy. We had just recorded that around town at some studios we knew, and I mixed it at home. And for this album, we wanted to be more ambitious with it, and we entertained the idea of trying to track it to tape and just go all analog with it. But as the listener could probably tell, our songs are a little bit long, and the album has many involved parts that would have made that just a very difficult mess of a production, I think. And so we decided to track it, to digitally at Bear Creek, and we went in over the course of 2, maybe 4 or 5 day sessions and tracked it all there. And then over the course of a couple months, we picked it apart and mixed it in my apartment, actually. And then our friends in Seattle called Black Belt Mastering, Levi is the guy who mastered the album up there, and he did a great job.
That's cool. That's awesome that you guys have friends that are able to do that instead of having it sent off somewhere and like trying to get it mastered there. That's cool. You were saying that the tracks are pretty long. Was it more difficult recording such long tracks, or
Yes and no. We're actually really good about pre-production for this, which was very rewarding compared to our first album, which also has long songs, and we didn't really prepare anything for it. We just jumped into the studio, and I was running back and forth between my drum set and the console, like for that first album. And so we wanted to, make this as professional as possible. So we actually went in and tracked everything down to every little overdub in pre-production in our demoing process. And so that made it a lot easier. So we had tempo maps and things like that to laid out for us while we started tracking, but that doesn't mean it was necessarily easy. It was just a lot of rehearsing and getting great takes was really what made it sound the way it does, a lot more than anything.
Part of the pre-production process, we had recorded the entire thing already, like the way we wanted it to sound, and so we went into the studio knowing exactly what parts we wanted to play, and there was no like, oh man, what about this really cool idea that, it was just, it was very clear and focused, and we could, dedicate our mental energy towards, just delivering really, really great performances. And
not that we blocked all creativity in the studio though, because there are a lot of magic moments that kind of came about unintentionally through a lot of these songs. Even in Reunion Show there at the end, I mean, there's always moments listening to that and now you think, wow, that was a little funny magic moment that kind of came together.
They're not playing that, yeah. For sure. And we had done a good bit of editing between the demos of the songs, just figure out, where is it distasteful, and where is it boring, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then so, we added some parts, we cut some parts, and just did a little shifting and stuff.
Okay. Well, it is a great album. I have listened to it all yesterday and all morning, and right now, obviously. So yeah, it's really good fun.
Thank you.
Is there any reason why you guys decided to have longer tracks instead of shorter tracks, or is that just?
I don't think we could write a 3-minute pop song if we were paid to do so.
Okay.
Sure.
That track that you just played, Reunion Show, is about the closest thing to that as I think we've ever done before. But I love writing pop music. I just don't think necessarily it has to be short.
Yeah.
I would love some more Kanye West and Drake songs that hit the 7-minute, 8-minute mark.
I mean, it wasn't like What I'd Say, that Ray Charles song, it was like 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
hit,
this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I wouldn't compare us to that, but yeah.
You are the new Ray Charles.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Last thing I'm going to ask. We said we would come back to the favorite moment of tour so far. Have you guys thought of anything, or are you still just trying to avoid the question?
No, we're gonna come back after tour.
I think just meeting people along the road is awesome. The bands we played with last night at the Starlight in Sacramento, shouts out to Pastel Dream and Calm Dog, really, really awesome individuals, put us up in Davis. We hadn't met anybody previously, and they were just so wonderful and supportive. And that's always the highlight of tour, though, is just meeting and making new friends.
Yeah, both of those bands have releases. You should definitely check them out. But my favorite thing, I don't know, it's kind of cheesy, I guess, but I just like playing shows.
Yeah.
I love playing music with these dudes, and especially it being Evan's last tour, I am trying to appreciate each show as much as possible and just go all in with it. And just, whether we're playing for 50 or 5 or 500, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to play with
The
my
act
buddies.
of performing is.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do. So.
Yeah, and that's why you all are here today.
Exactly, yeah.
So that is really exciting. It's great having you guys here in the station.
Yes,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Kacie.
Thank you so much.
thanks for having us.